Tape here.
And keep in mind that as we go through this, folks, this is, I believe all 5 conductors that are going today are in Dr. Ross's conducting class, which is great. It won't always be that way. I wanted it to be that way for the first time. The next time, which I think is in a couple of weeks, is where I pick on freshmen. So I'm going to have some sign-up sheets on my door. If you know now that you'd like to have 8 or 10 minutes on the podium with this fine ensemble, then just jot your name down, and I will guide you through what it is you're going to do up here. I'm not going to throw you to the wolves, all right? It's very safe. After today, you'll have music stands, and we use the book, which many of you I think used in high school, the Jeff King Foundations of Superior Performance. How many of y'all use that? It's got a blue cover. Yeah, absolutely the best method book for band ever written, and it's over 20 years old, and no one has come up with anything better. So, you've all played from that, but what we do in here is to teach you how to teach from that book. Does that make sense? And that's what we'll start with the next time. Cool. So what might be the first thing, and when we do this, it's not just me picking on whoever's up here, because we're all inclusive. So I want to know, anyone can answer these questions, except for Brian, who's not allowed to raise his hand. So what might be something that you would do at the start of a rehearsal to get the sound focused? I'm going to pick on someone who I think might not. See, I know y'all know.
I did it this morning. It's a hot mess.
Good idea, Brian. Thank you. Freshman, please answer. Yeah.
Breathing?
Breathing! Beautiful. All right. Can we do a little breathing? Yeah? Yes. Good. Let's do some breathing. You're the director.
Okay. So just do in for 4, out for 4. We'll just do that over and over.
Okay, let's stop right there. So a lot of this, some of you guys do breathing exercises in your high school, right, every day?
Yeah.
Somewhat.
Every day.
Okay, and there's 1,000 ways to do this. There really is no incorrect way to teach breathing unless you're telling them things that pedagogically just don't make sense and you're going to hinder what they need to do. But air is free. There's lots of it, at least for now. It's all around us. And we can take it as much as we can. So what is the most important thing before we start to breathe? Yes.
Make sure we have good posture.
Good posture. Nice. And what is the simple statement I always use?
Stand up like you sit. Sit like you stand.
Thank you. And actually, the opposite can be true as well. So we're going to sit as we stand, which means from the waist up, your body looks as if you were standing. That's what it is. And that makes sure that way you're elevating, expanding your rib cage, can take in as much air as possible through that. Now, same thing again, 4 and 4. All right, let's go a little bit slower. Make sure, and you have to specify, do you want them to breathe through an embouchure or not? Both are relevant, both are good, but you want to make sure you specify that so that you don't have a mixed groove of it. Let's start without an embouchure. So your mouth is going to be wide open. Paula Kreider, one of my mentors, always taught us to say, inhale a basketball, exhale a rope. So, makes sense? You're taking in a ton of air, and then you're taking in air in sometimes 1 count or 2 counts. And how long is the phrase going to last? Multiple counts, right? 16, 24, sometimes 32, depending on the tempo, right? So you have to be able to control that air. So let's do in and 4, basketball, exhale the rope in 16. Yeah, cool, here we go.
In for 4, out for 16.
Basketball on the rope. All right, cool. So a couple of things. First of all, normally I would have the McAdams out here, the little metronome. And for breathing, you should have that going just very, very softly. So that it's going click, 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 like about 80, 100, something like that. But it's not so loud that you can't talk over. How many of you guys, your band director, turned the metronome on every single rehearsal and it had blaring through speakers all across the room?
Not every single one.
Yeah, don't do that. I did that as a young band director, and it cost me dearly because I rehearsed every piece of music with this. I mean, just gang, 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 forever. And yeah, my band played right together. They sounded great. And then the day before we went to Texas is MPA, UIL, but it's MPA here, same thing. The day before, the director of band said, "Kevin, are you going to turn that thing off?" Yeah, tomorrow, I guess. Can't take it with you, you know? And then on stage, guess what happened at the festival?
Fell apart.
Not quite, but it was close. Because I had it so amplified that it was just through their bodies. And there's other ways to use a metronome, and that's not one of them. So outside is fine with marching band in the back of the field, but not indoors. So what I would suggest for you, and you don't have to do it with them, is I thought the breathing in at 4 was great. As they go through the 16, you want to give them some sort of indication, you know, lightly where the pulses are and that sort of thing. All right, cool. So that's breathing. So if you're a freshman and next time in lab band you want to come up and do some breathing, this is the kind of thing you will do. There's 1,000 variations. In for 4, out for 8. In for 2, out for 16. More practical would be in for 1, out for 32. At a slightly faster tempo, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, so be thinking about that. That's what you like to do. Good. Nice suggestion. And what's next then? We've done our breathing. Yeah.
Long tones.
Let's do some long tones. Dealer's choice, whatever you want.
Let's do Remington, start on concert F, and everybody down first. We'll do this as an expanding interval, so F, G sharp, that's the wrong direction, F, E, F sharp,
F. Okay, good.
F. There we go.
And is it half, 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 half whole?
Yes.
Go. Here we go.
Let's get a start right together. Breathe with me. Those of you whose instruments take a little bit longer to respond, keep that in mind, that you'll have to start a little bit.
Jordan, you're doing great. You're doing great. Now, when you're up here, remember this is not a conducting lesson, so I'm not going to comment at all on that. All right. What is important is what you hear and how you respond to what you hear, either verbally or non-verbally. Okay. So, and that's why really when we do it this way, the 4 counts of rest exist, so that you, the director, can make some comments. Otherwise, why put it there? You know. Fumble. Cool. All right, so let's respond. First of all, what do you hear?
I'm hearing a lot of individual players that are very confident on their instruments, but I'm also hearing some people who are not quite as confident, and that is because a lot of us are on secondary.
Yeah, well, don't qualify. That just is what it is. And when you get out there, folks, that will be what it is. Right? You're going to have some strong players and some in the middle, and some kids that may have just started. You know, think back to when you were freshmen in high school. And suddenly you had 12th graders you're trying to match. It's tough. It's very tough. Okay? So what else?
I hear individual sections sticking out. I hear a lot of trombone for obvious reasons.
Okay, so So what would be though if you had to? We could go on and on with what you're hearing, and you've got great ears. So what would be the most important thing that you're hearing that you need to correct right away? Okay.
So what I'm hearing is a lot of unsure tone. So I think really focused tone is what we need from the entire ensemble, not just from the ones who are on their primaries, but from everyone really focused.
Okay, and what are you going to tell them to get them to do that right away? Anyone can answer. Improve tone quality in 10 easy steps.
More air.
Yeah.
Use more air. Give it good breath support.
Good. What else?
Demonstration
By whom?
by you.
Me?
No, the director.
Oh, okay, right. So how many of you guys, your band directors in high school had their instrument with them and would play?
I thought this was
Yes,
sixth grade.
so
Hold on,
totally
I'm
awesome.
confused now.
For beginners, it's crucial. It's tougher in high school. So what instrument can you use that we all have?
Your voice.
Your voice. Nice. Oh, one of these, and you're going to with them. So let's have pick a volunteer, someone that you know would be, say, the equivalent of a first chair principal player.
Do I have any volunteers?
I'll do it.
There we go. So let's have Sam play, everybody else sing, because to me, singing really internalizes the pitch. And if you can sing it, you can play it. It's kind of the generic response, right? So Sam plays, everyone else sings, and on what? La?
On law.
La is great. Good.
Sam play, everybody else sings.
Let's pretend we went through all that. All right. Now let's have him play it and see if it's any better.
Everybody match.
And also try to say something in those four counts of words.
Okay.
All right? And folks, even I've been doing this for 20 some years, even I sometimes, you're listening, you're like, oh crap, I need to say something. Well, you need to have a default. If you can't think of anything, this is what you say. More air. You can't ever say that enough. So now, in Symphony Band, if you ever hear me say more air, you know that I put the
Everybody match the tone that you just heard from Sam. Keep in mind that breath support we use when we sign. Push to the bottom note.
Good.
Top.
As my eye doctor says, better, worse, or about the same.
Better.
Better.
All right, good. Now, some quick comments for Jordan.
When you're doing the breathing exercises, the first, I think most of the time when you did the 4 in, you did this thing, which is cool. But what happens was you kind of delayed the next one. And I found myself, and you'll find sixth graders doing this a lot too. They breathe in well, and then they closed up, but then they breath, and then they breathe and breath. Breathe.
So it should be a continuous motion.
It should be continuous. Yeah, they should never. You should never like close your mouth and then play. It should always be. Just like that. You get.
Cool.
Aaron.
You'll do this a lot from Dr. Ross's drawing, but say more with less.
Okay. Brian.
When we were doing our breathing in, you could hear a lot of tension in everybody how they were breathing in. So just be aware of things like that. So that
Especially breathing in with no embouchure, you really shouldn't hear anything at all. I mean, it should be almost dead silent. Through an embouchure, you're going to hear a little bit of the, but that's not. If you hear that, that's tense to me.
Melissa.
When you're doing the breathing, you're starting with a big breath, which is the start on one. And I know it's just easy to.
I realized I did that.
And
Great
then,
point.
because I was doing it too, and then I was like, wait, I can't breathe in. Fast.
You breathe and then breathe again.
Yeah.
I'm done. Right. And here's so great. So with the metronome, then, which you can have it going very, very softly, and just here we go. 1, 2, set, breathe in. And then it sets that up. That's a great point. I've never thought about that. One more, real quick.
Sam.
The first time we did the Remington, feel free to respond to what you hear that's not good either. Rather than you had the great facial questions for stuff that was good, like breathing to the bar line, but I also heard some stuff that you didn't necessarily respond to, which I think deserved a response.
There's always something to respond to, and when you get to 30-31, some of you will be in the spring, and freshmen will have it in 2 or 3 years, 3 years. But that's one of the things is you actually facilitate this with Symphony Band at the end of the spring semester. And one of the most difficult things to do is actually, what do I say in 4 counts? And you don't have long to decide. You have about 2 counts of the last whole note of concert F or whatever to not only put in your mind, what is it I need to respond to? how do I respond to it, and what's the hierarchy? So what's the most important thing to respond to, and go, and in 4 counts, and that's not easy to do, because that's a skill that you get, and you're well on your way to getting it. Cool, last hand for Jordan.